Hey there guys, George and Christine coming to you today with another hike. Today we're doing a super quick hike. We just got two back-to-back snowstorms here in Maryland, and we decided it's pretty chilly out, but it's not too cold out today. We're gonna do the Weverton Cliff hike here. It's part of the Appalachian Trail, just beyond Knoxville, Maryland. Access is via a little park and ride lot next to the intersection of Weverton Road and Weverton Cliff Road. So as you might be able to see here, Christine is now venturing to the trail. We've got a stone walkway that looks a little bit icy, but not too bad. Here cut into the side of the trailhead that allows you to make your way up to the trail. It's super short. It's only about, my understanding, a 1 mile hike up, non-stop switchback elevation, and then a 1 mile hike back. I've actually never been here before, but this is actually connected to the Appalachian Trail. So if you wanted to come up here and you wanted to hike more than just the 2 mile Weverton Cliff Trail hike, the sky is literally the limit. You could certainly go hike along the mountain ridge and the Appalachian Trail for as many miles as you would like. I don't think we're going to be doing that today. I think we're just going to go ahead and do this 2 mile section and call it quits. So come on, let's go take a hike.
This is fairly icy.
Yeah, I figured it would be. That's why I was thinking that even though it's super short.
You're thinking Christine should have brought a hiking course.
Well, I gotta say,
I think that would help her.
I do have a pretty nice pair of crampons that I thought, man, having those wouldn't be a bad thing. But, oh well, take your time.
More. Concerned is too strong a word. Curious to see what challenges it poses coming down. Penguin steps, right?
Yeah. Hey guys.
Hi.
Baby steps have to thump.
You got it what?
I'm thumping. They're not just little.
They're like baby Godzilla steps.
Exactly. Oh. Now I don't have you to slide into if I go backwards.
So interestingly, having never been here before, there are a lot of rocks and I would say that it almost feels a little step-like. I think a lot of the areas are kind of made into almost like little rock steps. Woodpecker. Oh, I see him. He just landed, which is why I saw him.
Thinking it would have been lovely to have a thermos of hot cocoa in my pack for when we get to the top, because I think it's going to be a lovely view.
So down at the bottom, the trail was considerably icier in the shade. Up here, it's more snowpack, and there's a lot of sun exposure here actually, so it's kind of slushy and a little easier to get grip.
I'm glad it's not that squeaky snow. You know the snow I'm talking about?
I do know the snow you're talking about.
Snow that's like, I don't know if it's dry, but when you step on it, it goes. That's like nails on a chalkboard to me.
So sort of as I suspected, even being cold and below freezing and all that, I'm already a little hot.
They blossomed early last year.
Hi.
Hey ladies, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Well, Good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Hey, Mr. Squirrel. I hear somebody, but I'm not sure if they're coming down the trail or if they're up on the cliff.
I like this less icy part.
Well, it's certainly, I mean, the whole trail seems to be relatively south facing. It's kind of south-southwest facing, so I feel like,
I'm honestly not looking forward to that back part.
yeah, it definitely de-ices pretty well, it looks like. And I can already see a little hint at the view, so I'm excited.
Is that where we're going to
Yeah.
higher up?
Yeah, that's the Potomac River. And I believe we're pretty close to Harper's Ferry.
Yeah, I think it's only like 10 miles down the road or less. That away. If I read the map correctly, which I often do.
So I definitely think that,
Ice in the water?
yeah,
What?
what's that?
So that's ice in the water?
It's hard to see from here. I'm gonna guess not. It takes quite a bit for the Potomac to ice up because it's pretty quick moving.
Oh,
So I
that's
think-
just it.
I think that's just the rocks. I think there's probably a little bit of ice around the rocks. But yeah, there's our first kind of glimpse at the Potomac River Valley.
Isn't that Harper's Ferry right up there? That jutting?
I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
Up that way? It's pretty close.
I think
though.
it's, I mean, I think that that's only like maybe 2 or 3 miles. I think that it's there.
Okay.
I think, but
I'm having FOMO of everybody's hiking sticks.
yeah.
Darn it
Well,
all.
dust off your hiking sticks.
I had them out the other day too.
I've never been a hiking stick person myself, but that's, you know. Okay.
I don't know, I felt like the hiking stick would help with stability, does it?
Coming down yet.
Alright, see, that's where I
There you
knew
go.
I was gonna get. Truth be told, I was never a hiking stick person myself. I bought them during our hike to Arizona
Uh-huh.
because I thought my mother, who's 70 something, might be able to use them. And she hated the idea, so I was going to give them to her, but I ended up with two hiking sticks.
Gotcha.
But now that I have them, I think I should use them.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried them really. I've never felt like, oh my God, if I just had a little more stability, this would be better. You know, never say never. But up until now, it is not a thing that has crossed my mind.
Well, I remember remember
that may change.
when my grandfather was in his 80s, he didn't want to have a cane, so I got him a really nice hiking stick, and he would walk around with that.
Well, you know, you get to pretend you're Gandalf, so.
It wasn't that big. Or there's a flask in the handle, I don't know, something.
Or a sword.
Oh my gosh. Did I ever tell you the story about, I think who it was? Someone's mother-in-law, I think, was down in Florida and needed a cane. Went to the antique store, bought a cane. Went through TSA with it, and they scanned it. It had a sword in it. TSA had her, she's like in her 80s, on the ground, zip tied. I didn't know there was a sword in it.
Thank you, U.S. government, because
I was like, well, at least we can all feel safe now. I guess that's the cautionary tale for antique canes. I have to remember to stop and help.
it's a lovely path.
It is. Stop here, maybe?
Sure. Seems like a good enough place as any to create a little walk-through spot.
A little passing
We
lane?
figure rather than you know, throw elbows in that narrow section, we'll let you get past.
Roll you down the hill. Have a good day.
You bet you enjoy it.
Thank you. No heating.
Yeah, no, I sort of thought that even though it's like whatever 30 right now, that there would be a high probability of getting quite warm.
Oh, my jacket has the two-way zippers. How handy.
Oh man, gotta love those two-way zippers. So they break.
I feel a little bit like a safe parson on these jackets. I'm not talking about it.
These switchbacks are really super long.
They are.
I'm like, I keep expecting to turn, and I'm like, no, it keeps going.
Well, I was trying to look up to see the path, but I can't.
Yeah.
How lovely. workout today called for a lot of lunges and squats. And I thought, probably not going to need to do those this week.
What's that? No, I mean, just here, it's going way over this way. So because you mentioned it, what can you tell me about hiking in 30-degree weather with Raynaud's disease and these gloves?
These gloves are the bomb. I don't know if you can see, they're lit.
Yeah.
So they have 3 settings. These were a Christmas present from that guy. But my hands get really cold at like 50, 60 degrees. So this has a mesh along the top that keeps the top of my hands and my fingers warm, so they're nice and pink instead of white and blue, and they can still move and I can feel them. So there's a little battery pack that's rechargeable right there in the gauntlet, and they're lovely. It's making this quite comfortable. In fact, they got too hot, so I had to click them down a level.
Do you remember like something wolf? Do you remember the name of the gloves?
Dark Wolf? Something. I'll have to look it up. We
It's
can
the-
insert it in.
It's the Goth glove company, Dark Wolf.
I was like, my
Raven
only regret is
McBlackclaw.
that when you push this, you don't get like Wolverine claws or like laser beams or something, because I think that'd be really cool.
But still super warm.
Super warm, and I have very small hands, so these are extra small, which is a big bonus because I can't usually find gloves that fit. They're usually either too long in here and I have tons left over, or they just, you know, they're really sloppy and they don't hold heat in. So
Nice.
these are awesome. Thank you.
Oh, no,
Happy Christmas
I'm not
present
asking for the thank you. I just thought that that might be something people would be interested in, that, you know.
Thanking you anyway.
Okay,
But we can
you're
insert
welcome.
the name of it and
Well,
link
I'll
to
put
it.
a little title in that says what kind of gloves they were, and maybe put a link in the description to where you can buy them if you too would like to go hiking in the winter, but you have circulation problems with your fingers. The particular ones that I chose to purchase are more of a thin, they're like a very thin glove, mostly about the heater element as opposed to a proper glove. But the company that makes them also makes a version that is the same thing, only like a big puffier ski glove on the outside. So if you're gonna, you know, be doing sports activities where you're really gonna be out all day, that might be the more appropriate one to buy.
Battery lasts several hours.
Yeah, I think you said last time you like 4 or 5 hours.
3 or 4, I think.
3 or
Yeah.
4. So pretty
At
good
full temperature.
at high. I think they're rated to last for like up to 8 hours if you're using the low temperature setting.
I got no time for low, man.
So if you're inside of another glove,
I just started to do a split.
yep, go slow. It is a little icy today, for sure.
It was just that one spot I went to push off, and my foot went backwards instead of forward.
Yep.
Kind of wish I had a disc toboggan.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be the best thing.
A disc toboggan and a helmet.
All right, they're letting us know that we want to prevent erosion, stay on the trail.
No disc toboggan. No helmet.
Yeah, you definitely need the helmet.
I mean, I gotta stay on the trail, so I'm gonna concentrate anyway.
I'm sure that there are tens of thousands of hikers that are maybe more learned and or serious and have all the gear that would know right off the top of their head what a good brand or a good specific product would be to buy. But I am just kind of thinking to myself, you know, these I wouldn't consider these conditions treacherous by any stretch of the imagination, but it is quite slippery. We are going from like sort of mud to snow to ice, and even some of the packed snow is pretty slippery at this point. And I gotta say that if I had a pair, I'm going to assume that they make a sort of mid-grade set of hiking boots that maybe has a the option to like kind of screw in a cleat, if you will, you know, like little spikes, say 6 or 8 or 10 of them in the sole that you could actually like tighten in and replace. That would be pretty sweet right now. I wouldn't mind having that extra sticky traction in the slippery packed snow and ice, but again, being is that it is such a short hike, I think we can make it just by taking our time and being careful. And then we hit these sections where it's all just mud and rock. But the reason the penguin technique works so well is because you're just going up and down. There's no sideways shear, so there's less chance of slipping. You slip because you're creating shear on the surface. So if you just go up and down, probably pretty fast because they move quick. They just take little steps.
Fast little steps.
But I'm just saying, taking your time and just taking little steps helps for sure.
Bright green jacket, it's easy to not lose you.
Well, I love this jacket, but it is really, really warm. It's definitely, even at this temperature, I mean, I'm sweating.
I need a layer.
So, yeah, I'm gonna actually unzip.
You know what? Turn my gloves off.
I don't remember when I bought this, but you know, it's a nice it's Columbia, yeah, Columbia, and it's really thin and lightweight, but man, it gets really warm. All right, well, we made it to the top. There's a little bit of a hike over to the cliff face. Weverton Cliff is 0.2 miles. Appalachian Trail, this is the Appalachian Trail. So this is the ridge pathway north. I'm pretty sure that if you're following the Appalachian Trail, basically once you get to this point, you want to go down where we just came up to cross the highway. And then the trail picks back up. You can see through the trees there. There's the next mountain. I'm also pretty sure, I might be mistaken, this is South Mountain. But much like our birch tree or beech tree corrections, if this is not South Mountain, I will put the name of the mountain range right here, but I'm pretty sure it is South Mountain. So as I said, this is a pretty short one. I believe that that elevation section is about either 0.7 or 0.8 miles. And then we got a little bit of downhill to the cliffs. And then of course on the way back, we will go up 0.2 of a mile and down 0.8 of a mile.
You want to hear something ridiculous?
Sure, I love ridiculous.
In my head, the Appalachian Trail was like 4 people wide, flat, and like covered in like dirt chips.
Yeah.
Or much or something.
That's so you can, so everybody.
I don't know, I just figured it's been around for so long, it must be like super improved.
I'm sure that there are sections of the Appalachian Trail that sort of meet that aesthetic just by happenstance, you know, that it's like,
I've never seen it, so I don't know why in my head
that it's like big wide flat spots. But I know from experience, I've never seen that part of the trail. I'm sure it exists. From my experience, it all looks like this. the parts I've seen.
I think it's only in my head.
All right, so we are just about to get to the payoff. I can see a couple people down here on the end of this path on the cliff edge. People enjoying the view. It's fantastic from up here. Earlier this summer, we did the cliffs above Harper's Ferry. Really, we did it because we were hunting for pawpaw, which we found in abundance. But we wound up climbing to the top of the cliffs for the view and got some great pictures from up there. And I'm thinking that maybe even in this weather, that might be a hike we do, you know, maybe in February. It's certainly a much more challenging hike. Takes a lot more energy, but the views are fantastic, and it's pretty popular. All right, so you're kind of starting to see the view. I think we need to figure a way out down to the edge of the tree line to get our best view. Although I believe I've seen a few images from like right up here, kind of showing the valley.
This is not a reality TV show. Like, yeah.
All right, well, that was a lovely little hike. Just about a mile, I think, and or a mile, and obviously lovely views off the edge of the cliff.
Not so cliffy that it made me feel weird either.
I will say, when I first hiked straight out to the edge, I found myself right at the edge, and then I was like, whoa, that's actually like,
Drop.
you know, 100 feet, 150 feet drop straight down. So I noticed it.
Well, I didn't go near that one for that reason.
And that's when I was like, oh, let me
I
step
always
back
say
up.
I'm not afraid of heights, but I have a healthy respect for gravity.
I remember that, like when we were in Sedona and I drove up on motorcycle to the Grand Canyon, and I hiked out to the edge of the canyon to get some shots, and then I was like, oh wow, it really is grand.
Yeah. One misstep.
Like, that's, for as easy access as it is.
I was like, give me a green rope and then edit it out later.
And I think
a
that,
green screen.
I think in fact that day someone had died there because they were like selfie sticking or doing something dumb. You know, it's like, this almost is a tiny barrier to stupidity because you have to hike a mile up a mountain to get to it.
You don't have to
At the Grand Canyon, you can literally drive your minivan right up to the edge and walk 50 feet and fall off a cliff and die.
This conversation's taking a dark turn. I think before we head down, I'll need to stop and switch back to the heated gloves.
Yeah.
I had my running mittens to go over them, but I didn't need that much.
And of course, as I mentioned before, if you wanted to make this more than a 2-mile hike, just go up the Appalachian Trail a bit as far as you want and add that many miles onto your hike and then back down to the parking lot.
I have a trivia question for you. How long is the Appalachian Trail? How many miles? I mean, I don't know.
If I was to guess, I'm going to say 2,800 miles.
2,800?
100, yeah, 2,800. That's what I think. I really don't know for sure, but I think it's 2,800 miles.
I say 800, but keep in mind I'm the person who thought there was a nice wide path. So I would bet on my guess.
And although I do know where the Appalachian Trail is, and I've hiked sections of it, being a Marylander for a good portion of my life, I don't actually know exactly where it starts and ends. My gut tells me that it is
Appalachia.
well, I'm going to guess that it's somewhere up in the northern part of Maine,
Really?
and I think that it probably ends in Georgia somewhere. I don't think it goes into Florida,
Wait, what?
but I'm not sure about that.
It starts in Maine. I'm revising my 800 miles.
And that's where my ignorance comes in, is if I'm guessing 2800 because I know how far it is to drive from, for instance, Baltimore to Jacksonville, for instance. And I also know when I did my electric car trip from Key West to the northernmost part of Maine, so the longest possible journey in the United States on the East Coast in an electric car, that I racked up well more than 2,000 miles. I think close to 3,000 miles. So, all right.
Do I have to walk like a penguin too?
Yeah.
I would like some John Philip Sousa music for this.
Ooh. So I was picking my pace up a tiny bit to catch up to you, and it is quite slippery.
Gotta downgrade to blue. You in front, so if I slide, I can slide into you. Is that rude?
I mean, I'll go in front. I prefer that you don't go sliding into me like a baseball player, but
I'll do my best to not slide in.
I don't think that's going to help us. If you fall, make me fall too.
I feel like you have enough mass you can stop me.
Yeah. Thanks.
I didn't mean that you're...
Oh, I know. Whatever, lady.
You just have, physically you have more mass than I do. Ooh, that looks icy.
This is me trying to decide where I want to step. Like I'm looking at what's level, you know? That's what I want to step down on, is level spot, not a sloped spot. Because it is quite icy on this turn.
For what's dry. Might regret this move. Well, I saw those kids up there in sneakers, and I'm like, geez. I guess when I had better reflexes, I would have done that without thinking about it.
Well, I feel like when you're younger, you do a lot of stupid things that you don't realize are stupid at the time. And then if you get away with it, you don't. You do.
I'm just so prone to, like, I don't think I'm going to hurt myself, but, like, I'm so prone to, like, falling and bruising. I would just rather not if that's my rule.
I'm just taking my time because I can feel, like, every once in a while, you know, I feel my foot slide, you know, out from its grip. There's no grip. I'm just kind of skittering sideways. And I mean, it is what it is. It's snow and ice. But I'm also not trying to make that turn into me falling on my ass or busting my head open. Because, I mean, all these rocks and stuff, like, you know. I'll definitely say that I can imagine how, depending on who's been through and what season it is, that it could be a little bit challenging to pick out this trail. That being said, the trail is fantastically marked.
Yes. Take note.
Tapsco Valley area, parks guys, come up here and take a hike and see how they do it.
They mark rocks. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I love hiking up. I hate hiking down. It hurts my knees. That's my toboggan idea. I need stress break. Ooh, jeez.
Yeah, be careful. It's definitely hard packed and a little more slippery right through here. Yeah. Ooh, super slippery right here. Yeah, well that's that, you know, it's a slope with no rocks and it's just icy now. So because it's melted, now it's freezing up. The temperature definitely shifted.
I'm taking the side with the rocks.
And the puffy snow?
Yeah.
Yeah, way stickier for sure.
I've been trying to pretty much hit my foot on a rock whenever possible.
Well, that's it. We just finished the Weverton Cliff Trail, which is a 2-mile there and back spur, I guess you would say, off the Appalachian Trail. You can find it right at the corner of Weverton Cliff Road and Weverton Road. It's super nice because you can literally jump off the highway. There's a park and ride right here, and you can park and you walk like a half block to the beginning of the trail, which starts off with these stone steps going up the side of the mountain. Fantastic views up there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this hike. As always, thanks for watching, and go ahead and give us a like if you liked this video. Feel free to share this with your friends. Subscribe, get your notification bell on. We're gonna try, I don't want to promise anything, but the idea here is that we're going to be doing a different hike every week. So we're hoping that that you'll see, you know, probably a different hike from us each week in its entirety. If you guys like that format, if you're like George, you know, we love getting to see what the trail looks like, but we'd like to be able to watch it in, you know, I don't know, 20 minutes. You know, maybe we'll mess around with a format that we give you a sped up section, you know, where there are chunks of the hike where we speed it up to like 8 times. So you can see the whole thing, but it takes far less time to watch. Or maybe you're doing that on your own. I don't know. You know, maybe you are like, oh, cool, I'd like to see this whole hike, but, you know, I don't want to watch an hour and a half, and you put it on 4 times or 6 times or 8 times. That's cool too. We appreciate you watching. If you're in the Maryland area, feel free to give us a DM and holler at us. Come on a hike with us. What else is there? Anything else?
I think that's it.
You know, okay. So until next time, whatever you do, go take a hike.
Bye, guys.
Hey, go take a hike.